Hazrat Abu Zar Ghafari Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu. Hazrat Abu Zar's real name was Jandab ibn Junadan ibn Sakan, better known as Abu Zar. He was called as Abu Zar because his eldest son was named Zar. This word in Arabic means fragrance. By one estimate, Abu Zar was born in 568 AD, which means Abu Zar was 2 years older than the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Hazrat Abu Zar Ghafari raziyallahu ta'ala anhu had belonged to an Arab tribe by the name of Ghafar, hence his last name.
When he heard the Prophet's mission, he sent his brother to Hijaz and then decided to meet Prophet Muhammad ﷺ personally. This was the time when Islam had only collected a handful of converts. He was first met with Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi, who introduced him to his own father, Hazrat Abu Talib alayhi. Abu Talib alayhi took him to Hazrat Hamza. After a thorough security check, Abu Dhar was finally introduced to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ.
It is said that Abu Zar said salam to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu that was long before the Islamic salam was introduced into the early Muslim culture of Arabia. Abu Zar was taken by the charm, the majesty, and the kindness of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu. He said his shahada, and he then converted and then accepted Islam. So did his brother.
Hazrat Abu Zar Ghafari radiallahu anh has had the reputation of being an outspoken orator and has always spoken his mind whatever the consequences. He and his brother began speaking about their new faith among his tribesmen. Immediately there was resentment against Abu Zar and his brother among the young men of the tribe. Finally the issue was reported to the chief of the tribe. Abu Zar had a lot of respect in the tribe.
However, when the chief called him and his brother, they both had to appear before him. He questioned Abu Zar and his brother about the trouble that both of them had started. Abu Zar pleaded his case with strength of reason, but with due respect and compassion. The chief reflected on what Abu Zar had said, and after some reflection he announced his own Islam. A great number of the young men also accepted Islam after that turn of events. Abu Zar continued to teach Islam to his people.
Hazrat Abu Zar Ghafari radiallahu anh is reported to be the fourth Muslim in chronological order. He had the exclusive honor to call Prophet Muhammad ﷺ as Ya Habibi, which means my dear friend, while everybody else could only address him as Ya Rasulullah. Abu Zar radiallahu anh finally arrived in Medina after the Battle of Ahzab in the 5th year of Hijrah, and spent the rest of the days in the company of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ.
During those few years in Medina, Abu Zar became very friendly with Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. The four people named Salman al-Farsi, Abu Zar Ghafari, Miqdad bin Aswad, and Ammar Yasir were always been in the company of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. They came to be known as the Shias.
In the 9th year of Hijrah, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ prepared a large contingent to confront the Romans and moved towards Tabuk. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib al-Islam was appointed the administrator of Medina. Abu Dharr radiallahu anh also accompanied the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. However, at that time, he had a very weak and old camel. It could not keep up with the rest of the group. Finally, when he was left behind by a great distance, he left the camel, took a backpack, and decided to walk. Finally, people saw Abu Dharr radiallahu anh coming, and they reported to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ that Abu Dharr was coming on foot. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ looked at him and said, "This is Abu Dharr, my companion. He is walking alone, he will live alone, and one day die alone. A group of strangers from Iraq will take care of his funeral and bury him."
Once someone asked him why he was always seen in one pair of clothes. Abu Zar replied, "Yes, I had another pair of clothes, but I saw someone who needed it more than I did. How could I keep a second pair of clothes while there was another person who did not have even one?" That one episode speaks volumes of the thinking of Abu Zar.
Hazrat Abu Dharr Ghafari radiallahu anh seems to have kept a very low profile after the passing of our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and during the first two caliphate of both Abu Bakr and Umar ibn Khattab. During the third caliphate of Uthman ibn Affan, things moved from good to bad and from bad to worse. Uthman refused to take advice from his well-wishers, such as Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib and Abdur Rahman bin Auf.
When Usman began misappropriating the public treasury for his own use and began distributing it lavishly on his cousins and in-laws, Abu Zar became active again and began reacting to it. Usman ibn Affan was very displeased about that. When Abu Zar's activities became unbearable for him, Usman ordered a complete boycott of Abu Zar. No one was allowed to speak to him in the masjid. Nobody was allowed to visit him or invite him to his place.
Abuzar's voice, in spite of all that, was hard to silence. When Uthman was not able to silence Abuzar, then he ordered Abuzar to be transported to Muawiyah in Damascus, Syria. What Abuzar saw in Damascus was even worse. People were building palaces for themselves and living in luxury. In the central mosque, he stood among the people and delivered a speech. People began to gather around Abuzar and listen to his discourses. The poor and dispossessed were attached to him, and the rich were scared of him.
A man named Habib bin Muslim Fahri saw all this and said to himself, "This is a big fitna." He then went up to Muawiyah and said, "If you wish to continue to rule over Syria, do something about Abu Zar, otherwise he will bring a revolution here." First Muawiyah tried to silence Abu Zar by bribing him. He sent 300 dinar to Abu Zar. He immediately returned it to him, saying, "I do not need your money."